And we thought we'd put up the numbers Jair has posted in 3 interleague starts. Check it out. No earned runs allowed. He's 1-0 over those 3 starts. 19 innings, 14 hits. He's given up 5 runs, but all unearned. 6 walks, 10 strikeouts. That includes a win against Toronto last year when he went 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, walked 1 and struck out 3. And Jerry Davis, the crew chief, I'm not sure what the issue was, but came in before the start of play here. Looked like Jurgens had a question, but all's well. Here are the 4 keys to the game for Jair Jurgens. We'll give them to you right after his first pitch of the game to Scutaro.
So Scutaro waits. JJ winds it up and deals. Yeah, the first pitch of the game, high for ball 1.
And for Jair, his changeup, it's so effective. But he had that good fastball against Colorado. This team is not a real good off-speed hitting team. Stay the course. Boy, this last turn through the rotation has been awesome for the Braves.
2-0 now. Scutaro, very selective hitter. You see the on-base percentage. And a guy that walks a ton. Found an obscure stat on him. Marco Scutaro last year led the majors. When he swung the bat, he swung at a strike 83% of the time. This year it's 85%.
That's knowledge of the strike zone, isn't it?
Ground ball, Kelly to his right. And the first down of the game.
He also leads the American League in only swinging and missing 6% of the time. Amazing.
Can handle it just a little bit. Defense in back of Jurgens. Anderson, Schaefer, and Francoeur in the outfield. Prado, Hernandez, Johnson, and Kochman third to first. JJ paired up with Brian McCann. And now we'll get a look at Aaron Hill.
Good looking player here. A middle infielder who can give you a lot of offense. And he's hit in 7 straight.
It's interesting to see guys the last couple of years who've been bothered by concussions and how severely they've been bothered by them. I mean, he collided with David Eckstein last year, not exactly Carlos Lee, who broke Adam Everett's ankle a couple years back. But he felt the effects big time, especially running. Grounds out to short, 2 away.
Of course he grounded to short. Who else would he ground out to? Yeah, Kelly caught the first one, but how about last night? Diory Hernandez had 9 assists in his first major league start, and that was the most since for a major league player to have 9 or more assists in his first career start since Chris Burke in July of 2004. It was just the 4th time since 1966 that it had happened to a Braves infielder.
And if Diory is busy again today, a good sign for JJ. Right there, Rios laces one into left and a 2-out runner for the Jays.
Fastball that he left up. Rios, a very good first ball fastball hitter. And he didn't miss that one. That's his first hit of the series.
Vernon Wells, I got to get him going a little bit. Gave him that huge deal a couple years ago. 7 years, $126 million. A mile high to right, long run. Francoeur still coming and makes the grab at foul ground. JJ pitches around the single. The Braves coming up to hit. postgame at Turner Field. Joe and Boog with you. Toyota starting lineups. And top 9 answers on the board. Show me Frenchie. And he is hot. Swinging a good bat, swinging Greg Norton's bat. And that will continue today. Kelly Johnson will lead things off. And they go up against this right-hander, Scott Richmond.
Interesting story here. You see good numbers from him and a 4-2 record. He's no kid, 29 years old, 6'5", 215 out of North Vancouver, British Columbia. Spent 3 years in the Independent League, in the Golden Baseball League at Edmonton. He played for the Cracker Cats, they were called. Nice.
Kelly gets into one, left center field. Lynn back some more. Out of here! Kelly goes oppo, 1-0 on the leadoff homer. He's got pop, Joe.
I tell you, I think Brian Jordan said about guys to watch today. He was talking about Kelly Johnson because he's about to go on a hot streak, and I think he hit it right on the nose, and that was a curveball right over the top. He crushed a home run last night into the Braves bullpen, and he told me before the game, he said, I'd like to feel a few more like that because he didn't even feel that baseball hit the bat last night.
5th homer of the year as Kochman grounds to first and Richmond gets over. 1 away.
Hadn't hit a home run since the first week of April, but 2 on back-to-back nights and in back-to-back at-bats. And you don't often see him go the other way that far, but he crushed that ball.
Braves are 13th in the league in home runs, but one part of the numbers that's interesting, the fact that this park has yielded the fewest homers in the majors this season. I mean, so when you see that happen, you can't just put it on Braves hitters. It's a credit to Braves pitching and to the way the park's play.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm not surprised, but didn't know that. No surprise either that Yankee Stadium is the one that's given up the most.
Wowie.
I'm surprised.
4 a game?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's low, that low.
I mean, I would guess in its heyday, Coors Field didn't come close to 4 a game.
I wouldn't think so.
Or a Mile High, for that matter.
Four keys to the game for Scott Richmond. Command. Yeah, command with his fastball. That's what everything's got to work off of, even though the curveball was what was hit for a homer. And lefties have raked this guy since he first got to the big leagues. Last year they hit 460 against him. 426. And this year 291. I'd say the lefties have gotten off to a good start so far today with Kelly going deep.
Here comes a 3-2. Got him looking outside corner with the bender. There's 2 away.
In his career, lefties, you can see, by far doing the most damage over right-handers. He was signed out of a tryout camp, Boog. Rob Ducey, former Blue Jay, saw him in a tryout camp and recommended him to the Blue Jays as a guy they ought to try and sign out of the Independent League.
Saw Brad Arnsberg work closely with Richmond, not just this year, but last year as well. Arnsberg very well respected, very prepared. Richmond was quoted as saying, "We don't have scouting reports. We have Brad Arnsberg." Hammered right field, way back, and gone. Brian McCann gets into one, and the lefties continue to eat up Scott Richmond. Max 4th of the year. It's 2-0.
They They can put on any kind of shift you want. If you hit it that far, I don't think they can defend it. They've had some of the most drastic shifts of the year against McCann in this series. They had 3 infielders on the right side for this swing. Connected well out in front, and it went well into the seats. And Brian has been on a tear since he came back from the DL. He's hit in 12 out of 14 now since he came back.
So the Braves up 2-zip. Richmond deals down and away to Martin Prado. And a big smile from Chipper Jones.
This guy had a couple of odd games. Now he's coming off a start against the White Sox. It was very good. 7 innings of 5-hit shutout ball, but he got no decision. His team eventually won the game. But before that, he had a couple of starts where he gave up 5 runs in the 2nd inning. And in one of those, it turned into a complete game against the A's. He hung around and pitched 8 innings, even though he lost.
Well, he's one of those guys that when he's on, he can be efficient and get ground balls with that sinker.
Fastball, curveball, and a changeup.
Hit hard, nice play, Bautista. And spins around to throw out Prado. Braves, though, go the different route, using the long ball. Solo home runs from Kelly Johnson and Brian McCann. Kelly Johnson, Brian McCann with home runs. Braves lead it 2-0. Jair Jurgens back to work. Mack has been on quite a tear since putting on the glasses. Wears him to hit, doesn't wear him to catch. Here's Adam Lind.
Remember when about the 3rd through the 5th or 6th start, Jair wasn't getting any run support. And what a difference it makes when he gets some early runs, like in his last start against Colorado. He got a run in the 1st and then 3 in the 2nd. That's pretty much the ball game against Colorado, and he beat him 8-1. Well, this offense for Toronto is better than Colorado's and more dangerous, but it gives him breathing room. Those 2 home runs have staked him to a spot where he can make a mistake or 2 and still survive. Very comforting when he's out there with the lead.
You feel like he knows what to do with it. That he understands the idea of, okay, now I've gotten the lead, I'm going to make you work for it. No gifts, no walks, nothing along those lines. He's ahead of Lind 0-2. And the changeup is wrapped back to the pitcher. Time to take a look at a giant plane that's going to fly across the screen. There it is, our Air Trend. How far did it fly?
Well, Laser Baker has the Kelly Johnson homer to the opposite field at 407 feet. That's a pretty good blast the other way. And Brian McCann launches one 398 feet to straightaway right. So two pretty long home runs there in the first inning on the Airtran. How far did it fly?
Here is Jose Bautista. First time this year that the Braves have hit multiple home runs in a game at home.
That's amazing.
You're almost 2 months into the season.
Yeah. Let alone do it in one inning.
Scott Rowland gets the afternoon off. That ball's hit pretty well left center field. Anderson on the move, and that one will short hop the wall. Schaefer over to collect it, and a one-out double. So Jose Bautista with the start and takes advantage with the two-base hit.
It's a good player and a good offensive player, and certainly a good backup for Scott Rowland if he needs a day off like today. Came over from Pittsburgh last year.
Scott's looked a lot better. Say about September, that final month of last year, and then on into this year, it looks like that shoulder is giving him less trouble.
Especially in his swing. Looks like he's able to get some extension finally.
Ball one to Lyle Overbay, who's 3 out of 5 in this series. Blue Jays in first place. They've kind of fallen on hard times, though. They've dropped 5 in a row. Braves, meanwhile, red hot. Won 11 out of 16.
Wow, what's that bright light on the field?
In some cities, they call that the sun. Haven't seen a lot of that.
No one in Atlanta would be able to vouch for that.
No one would be able to ID that.
Overbay's hits in this series have been to right field, pulling him in the hole. So Kelly has shifted a little bit to his left, leaving Hernandez to hold the runner.
Jurgen's missing inside now, 3-1. Bautista at second. Johnson and McCann have homered, and the Braves lead it. Called strike. How do you like that? Little 3-1 changeup that paints the outside edge.
Good pitch against a team that came in red hot offensively. Even though they'd been swept by the Red Sox, they were swinging the bat well. It was pitching that had been a bit of a problem. But Braves pitchers have put the clamps on them. Their 5-game losing streak, they've only scored 8 total runs. Here are some comparisons between what they had been doing, averaging over 5 runs a game.
Yeah, the offense has certainly been improved from last year. They were 11th in runs per game a season ago, 7th this year. Check swing, did he go? Appeal to third. Jerry Davis said no swing. And now first and second.
3 hits and 3 walks for Overbay in this series, and looks like he did get it stopped.
So 2 aboard with 1 out, and the catcher, Raul Chavez. The backup for Rod Barajas. JJ delivers. Changeup is outside. Jurgens, of course, came over in October of 07 in the Edgar Renteria deal. Gorkys Hernandez came along with him. Hernandez at AA Mississippi and swinging a good bat, hitting over 320. and an outstanding defensive center fielder.
More widely regarded as one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball. Chavez has been around a while. He's 36 years old. We first saw him when he broke in with Montreal, but he's had a few stops between there and today. They signed him as a free agent. Blue Jays signed him as a free agent in the wintertime.
Greg Zaun and Barajas were the pair last year. Zaun now in Baltimore. Braves up early here at Turner Field. The 1-1. And Jurgen's ahead now. I know you guys have been talking about it for a couple of days, but interleague play in full swing, and I mean, my first chance to really chat with you about it during it. You like it?
I don't dislike it.
Little roller. They get one, and with a catcher running, they get two.
But I love double plays, and we can certainly talk about that some more too when we come back.
Yes, you do. 2-0. That's a good looking lid right there. Braves lead this one early. And how about our next broadcast? And that'll be coming your way. Super promo tomorrow at 3:30. Braves Giants, game one of a 3-game set. And our AirTran road schedule presented by AirTran. Vasquez, Sanchez tomorrow, Medlin and Lincecum, and then Kawakami and the big unit.
Disappointing that Randy Johnson didn't get a win the other night in Seattle. Otherwise, he'd be going for his 300th win on Wednesday. But the Braves will miss a hot pitcher in Barry Zito, and they'll also miss Matt Cain. That's not bad, even if you do have to face Lincecum.
That is a pitching staff that could rack up strikeouts. Overall, though, a team that is struggling to score, last in the majors in homers and next to last in runs scored. And only one single run separates the Giants and the last team of the majors in runs scored, the San Diego Padres. Articles today in the paper saying that Brian Sabean is out looking for a bat. Let's see if they do something.
About the Padres having won 8 in a row. Good for them.
2-2 to Jeff.
Think the Padres will actively try to trade Jake Peavy still, even after he turned down the deal to the White Sox?
I think there will be more talks. Rancourt comes up empty. Second strikeout for Richmond. There's one away. I don't know that they necessarily will be really proactive about it, but for teams that are in contention or think they will be, you know that their phone will be ringing. So it kind of goes both ways. I don't know how active Kevin Towers is going to be saying, hey, do you want Jake Peavy? But you got a pretty good idea that Jim Hendry will be calling him and all the others.
Yeah, I thought the Cubs would be next in line. With respect to Scott Richmond, I mentioned his fastball, curveball, and changeup. The pitch that's the best for him is one I didn't mention, his slider to right-handed hitters. But when I talked about his command being one of his keys, he's got to set that slider up to right-handers with his fastball and then get right-handed hitters to chase outside the zone.
Joey Hernandez looking for his first major league hit. Yunel Escobar still out with the bad hip flexor. Told Jerome Jurinovich it's not any better today. Check swing. Did he go? No, says C.B. Buckner. Back to Scott Richmond for a second. Pretty amazing story. He pitched at Oklahoma State, but when he got out of high school, he worked on the docks in Vancouver for 3 years before even going to junior college and then Oklahoma State. Then signed out of the Northern League. So, I mean, that's pretty wild.
That's a delay. That's a deferred entry into the big leagues. He did pitch some for them last year. Went 1-3 with a 4 ERA. So as fifth starters go, he's doing just fine for them at 4-2.
In the air right field, Rios saunters in, makes the grab. And there's 2 down. And before Jordan Schaefer comes up to hit, want to let you know Coors Light introduces the new 12-ounce cold activated can. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And in our world, it is brought to you on the Cool Train.
Cool Train. I like interleague play, but I'm ready, as I have said in the past, I'm ready for a break. I'd like to see there be a little, I don't know, 2 or 3 year break just to make it that much more special. However, with the fans enjoying it as much as they do, with crowds going up every time interleague starts, I don't think you'll see it go away.
2 things. I did hear you say on the broadcast last night to Mark Fine, Skip Carey's idea, which I love. If you really want to do it, when the Blue Jays and the AL teams come in, play with the DH. Show the National League fans the American League style and vice versa. I love that idea.
I think that has a lot of merit.
And the one other thing, some point out that it is the Mets and the Yankees, the Cubs and the White Sox that drives the attendance climb in interleague play. But when they looked at it, taking out the top 4 rivalries, attendance still is up 7%. For interleague play, removing White Sox, Cubs, Yankees, and Mets.
And that's significant.
If the fans like it, then it's hard to argue against it. Braves lead this one 2-0. Sports South is brought to you in part by Georgia Power. By your lead. Jair Jurgens on the hill before the game. Kelly Johnson talked about the 23-year-old.
Being out at second, when guys on the other team get over there, if they ever do make it second, they're always talking about his stuff. You know, they don't know what he's going to throw. They don't see it. There's just, you know, there's something about the way he throws the ball that makes it real tough on hitters. He's got great poise. I mean, he's, for being so young, it's hard to imagine him. It's hard to imagine him being only 22, 23. He pitches like he's like 30.
The wily veteran from Curacao. The Braves fans so used to the impact Andrew Jones made, you may forget or not even know that Jair Jurgens is the first pitcher to pitch in the majors from Curacao. The 1-1.
Which is surprising in that they have so many good athletes. And you look at Jair and you know what a good athlete he is. You know how fast he is. So he could probably do a good job for you filling in the outfield if you needed him to.
Look out!
Kelly gobbles it up. There's one away.
I loved it this morning. I came in and this will be the first road trip for Diori Hernandez with the big club, and for rookies and most of the club, they'll wear sport coat and ties on the charter. Well, Diori was unwrapping and unpinning a brand new dress shirt that he'd picked up yesterday, and Jair and Yunel were helping him with his ensemble.
There you go.
Piecing it together for him.
It is still funny to be in a big league clubhouse, and you see it every single year on a getaway day, and that is guys making other guys ties.
Yeah,
their big leaguers don't know how to tie a tie. First base, Casey Kochman down to a knee. They'll top three, and it's the VCast music with Rhapsody. Know your music inning from Verizon Wireless. What Atlanta Braves player enjoys listening to all his favorite DJ Easy Rock and Rock? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, please.
Rhythm and blues songs right on his wireless phone. Stick around, we'll tell you in the bottom of the third. Who likes listening to rhythm and blues songs on his wireless phone?
Okay, now that's more of a genre correct thing, so I think I can get close on that.
Not bumping and thumping.
No, that was Terry Pendleton.
Yeah. Not Selena.
That was Chino.
Not Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. You don't even remember who that was, do you?
And don't even care. David Ross, I'm told.
By the way, of course, every game you can follow us on Facebook, Fox Sports South Facebook. I'm debating on there as I'm broadcasting the game the red jerseys. How you feel about the red jerseys?
Yeah.
Ranking the red jerseys. Soft liner into left and a base hit for Aaron Hill.
We were talking about Yunel Escobar and the wardrobe, and the reason he had time to work on that today was he's out of the lineup with an injury. So I was talking to Yunel today. I said, you know, where is the injury? Because it's supposed to be a hip flexor, and he was pointing no more toward his groin. And I said, well, how did that happen? So he was trying to tell me in his limited English, but he said, okay, ow. And I thought, you know, that's very descriptive right there.
That's exactly.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay, ow. That's all you need, right? That breaks it down.
That was it.
Hard hit, but Kelly's there.
Whew.
That was scalded. Rios is out, and another ground ball out for Jair Jurgens. We're midway in the third, and the Braves lead. We go to the bottom half of the third. Jurgens will start it off. Jurgens, Johnson, and Kochman, 9-1-2. JJ in his career is a 107 hitter.
I was watching parts of some games on the MLB network recently, Boog, some of the classics, and watching some games not only from the 50s but as recently as the 70s and 80s. I was surprised to see how many hitters employed closed stances compared to these days. You rarely see anybody with a closed stance anymore.
Got him looking. Jurgens down on strikes. Why do you think that is?
I think most of the time, at least from my era, it was an effort not to, it was like a reminder not to pull away from the ball. And in the case of the modern hitter, I love what the guys do now with more open stance. I think in my era, the guys who had open stances were all kind of punch and Judy hitters, just kind of slap the ball around, because the tendency was that took some of your power away. You weren't able to use your hips. But the way guys come back to the ball now, and Kelly has a slightly open stance, but he doesn't stride. I mean, he barely even moves his front foot. So there's hardly any movement at all. But
that one ripped and gloved at first by Overbay.
It's getting hot again. Because guys with closed stances thought that by being closed they could put a little more on their swing, generate a little more power. These guys are so strong now they don't have to do that.
I mean, you almost never see it.
No.
The closed stance nowadays is a real rarity. Casey Kochman, slightly open stance.
In a way, they kind of wind up back in the same place. But the reason for it is a little, or the strategy behind it, let's say, is a little different, just because guys get a better look at the ball and they think about coming back to the plate. In Casey's case, that's funny, it brings his right shoulder back to home plate a little more when he starts his stride.
On a short hop, and Overbay will take it himself. Braves go 1-2-3. We'll go to the fourth, 2-0. On top 2-0. We go to the fourth. And the VCast music with Rhapsody Know Your Music inning from Verizon Wireless. We asked you earlier what Braves player enjoyed listening to rhythm and blues music on his wireless phone. Our answer, please.
Javi Vasquez.
Joey Hernandez. The Deaconess. Garrett Anderson. Visit VerizonWireless.com/music today to find out more about VCast music with Rhapsody. All right, so the red uniforms. Where do you rank the red uniforms? If you were to go white, gray, blue, red, rank them.
White. White, blue, gray.
Red's fourth.
Way fourth.
Me too.
Way fourth.
Fashion Police always on the scene here in the booth.
I'm hoping they, it would be good for merchandising too. Come up with a home blue.
Sure.
That would look sharp with the white pants.
Jurgens 1-1 to the hole and through, a base hit. So the leadoff man aboard for Toronto for the first time today. The Duck is going to march across the screen and ask you a question. Today's question, Scott Rowland won 5 straight Gold Glove awards. Who's the only Braves infielder to win consecutive Gold Gloves, excluding pitchers?
In other words, Greg Maddux. That's a good question. Marty Perez could pick it. I don't know if he won Gold Gloves, though.
What was the first year of the Gold Glove?
I don't know.
Too high to land, and Jurgens has fallen behind. McCann's going to pay a visit. 1957, the last year, or the first year of the Gold Glove, I should say. See, this is the point where I can't look at Facebook because you have people that cheat.
Yeah. Now, Clete Boyer played for this team when they first came to Atlanta. And man, oh man, if it weren't for Brooks Robinson in his era, Clete would have been probably recognized as the best fielding third baseman of that time. I don't think Davey Johnson was that well known for his defensive ability. Coming forward from there, Glenn Hubbard, Jerry Royster. Mark Lemke, Jeff Blauser, Jeff Treadway, Terry Pendleton. Terry Pendleton.
That's not bad.
I think I'll stop there.
Okay.
That hit for Wells snaps an 0 for 11 for him. First hit of the series. He's 6 for 6 in stolen bases, so that's why Jurgens is holding him close.
Braves had done well with Rios and Wells coming into the game this afternoon. They were combined 0 for 16, and they're each 1 out of 2 today. Just missed, up and away. It's filled up on Adam Lind, the left fielder. Grounded a changeup back to Jurgens his first time up. JJ'd love more of the same.
He's had a bunch of ground balls.
Wells goes, and the pitch is hooked foul down the right field line. Braves got first inning home runs from Kelly Johnson and Brian McCann, and that's where we are, 2-zip. And after today's game, off to San Francisco, 3 with the Giants, and then 4 with the Diamondbacks out there at Chase Field.
Yeah, it's not only off to San Francisco, but off to San Francisco in a 1:15 start local time tomorrow.
Wells goes again, a strikeout, throw down to second, not in time.
Brian McCann's numbers of throwing out base runners has been good. He's been 4 out of 12. And we showed you earlier in this homestand how he was coming out just firing off that back foot with no shifting of the feet. I'm not sure he was going to get Vernon Wells there even with his best throw of the year. He had such a big jump.
Wells is on the go, throw to third, tag too late. And again, remember, Jair Jurgens last year led the National League in stolen bases allowed.
This was Jair's fault. When you steal second base, a lot of good base stealers will tell you the next best pitch to go on for third is the very next one, because the pitcher thinks you're satisfied getting into scoring position and he doesn't pay any attention to you, and that was the case there. Huge jump for Wells.
So Vernon Wells now 8 for 8 on the season. Roller to short. Hernandez collects, throws him out, runs, scores. It's a 2-1 game. So with the speed, the Blue Jays able to get on the board.
Well, that's part of his game that is going to require a little improvement. If there's any area where you look at Jair and say, well, what can he do to improve? That's one of them, holding runners, because not holding Wells at second base allowed an easy ground out run to be scored.
Overbay walked his first time and swings through a changeup. 0-1. We talked about Richmond's splits. I mean, overall, JJ's been great, but his splits are still drastic. Lefty's 255, righty's only 174. So you're talking about an 80-point difference. Today, hasn't really worked out that way. Hill has a hit right-handed. Rios a hit right-handed. Wells, same story, right-handed. Bautista a hit right-handed. The 1-1.
It's funny how when you start looking at some right-handed pitchers who are having success these days, their splits are very prominent.
Extreme.
Against lefties, because everybody's got a good changeup or a good sinking action on their fastball away from left-handed hitters and away from their power. And they're not able to employ those pitches for the most part against right-handed hitters.
Two. Right there, swing and a miss. And the second strikeout of the afternoon for Jurgens. The Jays, though, get a run. 2-1. Bottom of the fourth, Garrett Anderson has started off. How about our Firestone leaderboard? And GA figuring into our top 5 active leaders in interleague hits.
Had a couple more last night to add to that. First time he's added to that list against an American League team, though. Braves don't have a hit since the home run by McCann in the first inning. In fact, that's the only 2 hits they have, the homers in the first. You mentioned Brad Arnsberg earlier, Boog, as the pitching coach for the Blue Jays. He's been instrumental in refining some of his mechanics, too. Speaking of Richmond, he used to have a windup where his hands went up over his head and behind his head, and they've stopped that to try to simplify things.
That's another thing. It feels like you see less of guys that go over the head with the windup.
Everybody's just trying to make things simpler. Use your lower body. Don't try to get into quite as much stepping straight back, as much rocking and pitching. I mean, the Tim Lincecum thing is so off the charts odd that it may start a revolution.
Yeah, it's like he's launching himself at the plate. Richmond, a big guy, 6'5", 215. Bryant, his first time up, got into one to right.
2 curveballs that got launched in the first inning, one by Kelly and one by Bryant. And it seemed like every time up they changed their shift, Boog. Now Aaron Hill is halfway out into right field. He hasn't been out that deep before. I asked him before the game today about the bunt attempts, and he said, all I got to do is get it by the pitcher. In my first try last night, I just kind of bunted it straight in the ground, so that what didn't work. And they did try to do a little slap bunt for the base hit later in the game. But Bautista's not playing over as far as Scott Rowland did. Now with 3-1 count, he does back up.
Ripped but foul. Look out over there. My 2 questions. See if everybody's all right there, because that was a laser.
Dangerous spot there.
Ouch. Up the middle, and he beats the shift. See, now, my first reaction there is if you're going to overshift, he didn't hit that hard enough. That's got to be caught. If you're going to put 3 guys on the right side of second base.
If you're going to put 3 guys on the right side of second base, then do it like the Braves do oftentimes, which is really up the middle, in the hole, and the first baseman on the line.
Right.
You don't want to, if you put 3 guys on the right side and you still got a big hole up the middle, what have you accomplished?
Right. Prado 0 for 1. My 2 questions on the overshift, and we see it more and more. The first question would be, why don't they leave the shortstop on the left side? If you're only going to have 1 guy on that side, why wouldn't you make it the guy with the most range? And then my other question is, why don't you see it with right-handed hitters at the plate? That's the one that doesn't make sense, because you're overshifting on tendencies. So if Jason Bay pulls the ball on the ground when he hits a ground ball 90% of the time, why wouldn't you do it the other way? I don't get that.
Yeah, well, I don't get that either, except that I would say, are there that many predominantly pull right-handed hitters like there are left?
I would say there are just as many.
Would you? Because I don't know. My tendency is to say no.
Fair ball. Prado rips that down the line. Lind into the corner. They're going to hold McCann up.
First hit for Martin in this series, but not because he hadn't been hitting the ball hard. Smoked one at Bautista his first time up. This time able to hit one right over the bag that he couldn't get to. High fastball running in on him, and he still turned on it. And a good play by Lind down in the corner kept Brian McCann from circling the bases.
A big spot for Francoeur. 2 aboard and 1 out. The infield about halfway for Cito Gaston. First pitch swinging, grounds it to Bautista. They took a look at McCann, throws out Jeff, and there's 2 away. And before Diori Hernandez comes up to hit, time for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac! The Duck. Scott Rowland won 5 straight Gold Glove awards. Who's the only Braves infielder to win consecutive Gold Gloves? Answer, please.
And with Pendleton.
Del Crandall. I wouldn't have been able to pull on that.
Yeah, and it said Braves. It didn't say Atlanta, did it? So I only went back to Clete Boyer.
Right. Well, this would be a good spot for Diori Hernandez. First hit as a big leaguer. Chavez out to the hill.
1 out, runners second and third. You got to remember who's in trouble here. Jeff Francoeur's been going good, and he's hitting 4 straight, 7 for his last 14 coming into this game. But goes after a slider down and away from him, and he tried to pull it. He tried to do too much here, I think, on the first pitch instead of waiting for a pitch that he might get to drive. So runners have to hold. Got to be patient there.
Right side, and the Braves can't cash in. A single and a double, but they're left stranded. We played 4. Braves by a run. In the game, it's not just because they're solid baseball guys. It's because they're solid people, the kind of guys everyone in baseball looks up to and respects. I'm not talking about popularity. I'm talking about respect. And that's from Bobby Dews on Cito and Bobby Cox.
And if that's coming from Bobby Dews, that's good stuff.
It says a lot.
An author, Bobby Dews, an author in his own right. He's written several short stories and good ones. Many of them published.
Up and into Chavez. 2 balls and a strike on the catcher, wrapped into a 4-6-3 double play.
Can't let everybody get comfortable and hang out over the plate because his changeup kind of goes away. He'll throw it to right-handers, but he'd rather use the slider. Let's see if he comes back with the slider.
Flared into right. That'll fall for a hit. So the leadoff man aboard for the second consecutive inning. Folks, Thursday, June 11th, the first 15,000 fans will get an Atlanta Braves 1980 retro cap presented by Napa, just like the cap Dale Murphy wore. For the best price on single game tickets, visit Braves.com/tickets or 800-745-3000. Richmond a ground out in his first ever big league plate appearance.
I think you can put some pressure on him defensively, can't you? Have Prado in a little closer and force him to bunt the ball hard to first. And now with 2 strikes, let's see what happens. Still up in the front of the box. Looks like he might still bunt. And remember, pitchers don't hit the American League.
He's squaring. And he strikes out.
Cito Gaston warned his pitchers against big swings beginning in spring training. He didn't want anybody getting hurt swinging the bat. And that applied to this series as well. Any interleague games played on the road.
Here is Marcos Scutaro. He's grounded out twice. It's with Chavez at first. Jays off to a great start. One thing, though, that really should be underlined is the fact that the beginning of their season presented a very favorable schedule. The Blue Jays did not play the Yankees, the Red Sox, and still had not played the Rays until May 12th. So their schedule starts to toughen up right about now.
Yeah, they go to Baltimore from here, and then I think they go home and play the Red Sox again.
They do.
So it's going to stiffen up a little bit on them schedule-wise as they get into the teeth of the National League or American League East.
The 1-1. And it is a bear of a division. I was saying the other day with Fred Hickman that I still think that the American League is the superior league, but I think that the distinction even more so now is it's the American League East than everybody else. I mean, that division is so far and away the best division in baseball, and I think gives the AL the power edge.
A lot of star power in the American League East. Still with a half-game lead, though, thanks to some comeback wins by the Mets.
Up the middle and through. Jurgens and Johnson came close to it, but a single for Scutaro, 2 aboard, 1 out.
Too bad nobody could knock that one down with Hill coming up.
So 2 aboard, and now our Lincoln player profile. Aaron Hill already has a hit today, 1 for 2. He's first in the majors in hits and multi-hit games.
Strong guy out of LSU. But he's also hit into 8 double plays this year, and that's 5th in the American League.
Jurgens has already gotten 1 today. And, of course, Joe, you love double plays.
I do.
Jurgens has given up 6 hits already, but only 1 run.
Tied him up that time. Good pitch at 90 in on his hands. He likes to pull the ball, so he wanted to jump on that high, tight fastball, but couldn't. Couldn't get on top of it. So now you've got a pitch or 2 to play with. If he's going to continue to try to pull the ball, you might see a slider, you might see the changeup, but a changeup off the plate. Make sure you don't make a mistake with it. Off the plate outside.
One, 2.
Not sure that's what he wanted to do. That one kind of stayed right in the center of the plate.
Haven't seen many sliders today.
No. I mean, throw one right at the center of the plate or the outer third and have it break off the plate and have him chase it. Fastball.
95 with that heater. Hill is hanging in there. Good battle going on between these two guys, and McCann will go out to the mound for a little chat and give him a breather for a second. Jurgens at 72 pitches, 47, 4 strikes.
Has not had a 1-2-3 inning all day. He's given up a hit in every inning, and 2 this inning.
Off the plate, this is going to be tough. Kelly almost misjudged it and gets the out at second. It was in the air, and even though it was a ground ball technically, I think Kelly was fighting the sun and then looked away to try and find the bag.
Right off the plate. What I'm surprised, it was Scutaro here who went into the bag, kind of a bang-bang play there, and just kept running right on by the base. Had he been called safe, he was going to get tagged out. He's got the glasses down, so Kelly had to back up a little bit to make the catch. And Scutaro nowhere even near the bat.
I think that might have been an interesting play if he had gone straight ahead and slid in.
Mm-hmm. Big at bat here for Jair.
Nice dig by McCann.
And a smart call on the first pitch, with this guy being a first pitch fastball hitter.
On the corner. When you do that to the 3-4 hitters, it's usually a good sign. The pitching, though, has really been the thing for the Blue Jays. Offense has improved, but their pitching is still quality. I think they're second in the AL in Team ERA. The Royals are first.
These guys have a bunch of people with big RBI numbers, but they need the 3 and 4 guys. You mentioned Wells. They got to get him going. They got to get this guy going too. He's hitting 260 coming in, 263 as he stands there now. And those two guys pulling down a lot of payroll for the Blue Jays, Rios and Wells.
It's a team that catches it well also. Bouncer, Kochman there, and that's the inning. Jurgens again does a good job of damage control. The Jays leave 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. To speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Braves up by a run as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Sunday Braves, Fox Sports South, our Blimpies game summary. Johnson and McCann, solo homers in the first, and Jurgens has given up just one run. Good bunt. Richmond got a hustle throw to first in time.
It was a good try and not a bad bunt. Took perfect timing on Richmond's part to get him. Barehanded and get him by a half step.
Like seeing Jordan try it. Creativity's good. Execution's good. I mean, that's one of those. He put down a good bunt. Guy made a good play.
And he's been practicing it more too, and I think the more he does that, the better he'll get.
The dirt to Jurgens. Braves as a team 13th in the league in runs per game, 13th at homers, 6th at on base, 12th in slugging. Going up against this 29-year-old from Canada. His father's actually from New Zealand, so he's from Canada, but he has citizenship in New Zealand. His dual citizenship.
He didn't hurt himself in that swing, did he? Speaking of Cito Gaston not wanting his pitchers to get hurt. Took a huge swing, and he's walking off something here. Remember, Tom Glavine hurt his shoulder on a big swing in a minor league rehab start. Last night, Derek Lowe took a funny swing at a pitch inside and was shaking his hand. And there's no way he was going to swing the bat there. Let's hope he's all right.
Richmond struck out 5 now, and 2 away. Top of the order for Kelly Johnson. Yeah, he really grimaced at that swing. You hope that he's okay.
Lovell will follow him down to his seat and probably question it, and Jeff Porter there too.
They still haven't looked at anything over there, so I don't know whether. I mean, there's no question something hurt him on the swing. He's telling them it's not a big deal. But I don't know whether it was a hand or an oblique or a knee or what.
Or even the left shoulder with that big swing, Sherp. And he had to ask for time just to give it a little second to regroup whatever stinger he felt there.
Two and two now to Kelly. Richmond back to work and delivers. Kelly put a charge into one his first time up.
Opposite field on a breaking ball. Over 400 feet to left center. And then hit a rocket line drive out his next time out.
And a rocket liner into left center. Landover to pick it up. Big turn for Kelly. He'll stay put at first. And he's 2 out of 3. And that's 3 good at bats, because remember, his second time up, he hit a rocket to first that Overbay gloved racing towards the line of the backhand.
That pitch was up. You could see Chavez wanting him to drop that pitch down and in, and it didn't happen. Good time to run if you're Kelly Johnson in the Braves. 2 outs. Try to get in scoring position for Kochman. If you get thrown out, you got Casey leading off the next inning.
Couple of ground balls to first for Casey, who's been in a little bit of a funk. Last 10 inning, 188.
Richmond employed a little bit of a slide step there to try to shorten up his time to the plate.
Ripped towards the corner and a foul ball. The Hammer out there just standing by, waiting to race.
The Hammer was actually the guy you were talking about learning to tie ties.
Right.
Cito Gaston roomed with the Hammer. Well, Henry Aaron when he first came to the big leagues, and it was Henry who taught him how to tie a tie for the Charters.
That's great.
Not that Hammer.
Too high to Kochman. Cito Gaston in his second stint as manager of the Blue Jays.
Had 2 different stints with the Atlanta Braves as a player.
Kelly goes, a swing and a miss, and Kelly's a dead duck. Johnson gunned down by Chavez. We played 5 here at Turner Field. Braves still lead it 2-1. Georgia Power, by your local Ford dealers, by SunTrust, by AT&T, and by the Georgia Lottery. Jair Jurgens back to work. He's thrown 78 pitches, and he'll face Vernon Wells to start off the 6th, and delivers a strike.
Could use a quick inning.
That is a rocket out there center field, and Schaefer's not going to be able to track it down. And Wells will stop at second. And again, Jordan Schaefer got a little too close to the wall that time.
Yeah, another one of those that almost turned into a triple with a fast runner, but a good recovery. Watch this swing. Watch him keep his hands inside the ball, use his hips. Short, easy swing that just launched this baseball. And there's Jordan having the ball bounce back over his head. And watch his head, how still it is. Going to this ball. Very powerful man, but a very short, quick stroke, keeping his hands inside and getting the bat to the ball.
Turgeon's been living dangerously. Leadoff man on for the third straight inning. Strike one to Adam Lind, who's 0 for 2. Blue Jays have lost 5 in a row, still in first place in the AL East. And meanwhile, Jair Jurrjens trying to pick up win number 5. Braves will be in San Francisco tomorrow. We'll have it for you tomorrow on Sports South. Dodge Braves live at 3:30.
Got to keep an eye on Wells. Remember, he set up their only run with 2 stolen bases. Another good center fielder coaching at first, Dwayne Murphy. Boy, could he go get him. He won a Gold Glove or 2 while playing with Oakland during the Billy Martin Billy Ball days.
They had Mike Norris and Rick Langford and Brian Kingman and all those
Steve
guys.
McCaddy.
Yeah. Lynn gets it to the right side. Wells will move up the 90 feet. And 1 down. Folks, check out the Braves Clubhouse collection. Lady Braves apparel, like necklaces from the Alyssa Milano collection. For details, order the Braves catalog at 800-433-BRAVES or stop by the Braves Clubhouse store at CNN Center. Remember, we outfit the Braves. We can outfit you. The Alyssa Milano collection available at the CNN Center or online. Did you watch Who's the Boss when you were younger?
Yeah, she's a very attractive woman and a big baseball fan.
Big time. Infield halfway. Strike to Bautista.
Wasn't it Bautista that Chipper collided with a couple of years ago and went
Yes, it was.
upended over at third base and hurt his hand?
2007 in Pittsburgh, about the second week of May.
Good pitch. That had a little sink to it at 92, running in on him. He didn't like the call. Right at the target. Wonderful.
Let's see what they go with here. Came in with a fastball. Bautista got a piece.
I like how the home plate umpire sets up. Brian Gorman's back there today, and he sets up kind of high above Brian's head, but if Brian moves inside of the target, he doesn't go with him. He stays right in the middle. Doesn't distort his view of the outside corner.
Yeah, he's set up pretty much right over top of the plate.
It leaves him exposed a little bit, and I think sometimes umpires are just trying to protect themselves a little when they move with the catcher to stay behind him. This gives him a real good view to both sides of the plate. The guys that drive me crazy are when let's say Brian moves to his left for an inside pitch to Bautista, and the umpire tries to stay on that inside shoulder of the catcher and is having to halfway look around the hitter to see the plate.
I know you said the other night that if you umpired, you'd wear the chest protector inside, and you'd have the. Yep. You'd also have the
balloon.
The balloon.
Mm-hmm. That looked like the Tin Man.
Tying run 90 feet away. A 3-2 pitch to Bautista. Here we go. Oh. Hoped he'd chase the changeup. Didn't.
Was ahead of him in the count, too, and couldn't put him away. Bautista fouled off a couple of good pitches. But his pitch count getting up there to only be in the 6th inning. He's at 93 pitches. A guy up there that the Braves have had a hard time retiring in this series, Overbay.
Overbay is 0 for 1. See maybe if he can get him to roll over on a changeup. Talked about quality starts earlier. Jurgens with 6 quality starts this year. The Braves overall 16-7 when they get a quality start. Center field, softly hit, and it'll fall. Wells in to score, RBI single. We're tied at 2.
Still can't retire Overbay. 4 for 7 in the series with 3 walks and a little flare into shallow center field. I haven't noticed anything, Boog, on Jurgens after that at bat in the bottom of the 5th inning that might give you cause for concern. He's made some good pitches as well as give up the 2 hits this inning and a walk. But the Braves bullpen will get busy. Jeff Bennett begins to warm up. Just joined us. Here was the swing in the bottom half of the last inning.
You could see his face. I mean, he grimaced.
We never really saw anything that led us to believe it was one spot or another. One area I think of too now watching it back is the oblique. Maybe having twisted his upper body a little bit. I hope not. And I think if it were the oblique, we'd already know it because it'd be very difficult for him to pitch. Now that the score is tied, you look back at the Braves' 4th inning. They had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, didn't score.
Chavez 1 out of 2. Go ahead run at second. That's Bautista. Cito Gaston's put Kevin Millar in the on deck circle. So it looks like the afternoon is done for Scott Richmond. You see Chavez hitting with one of those mouthpieces.
Mm-hmm. I can understand why a catcher would wear one, especially behind the plate. Jesse Carlson, who has been warming up. He took the loss here in game 1.
JJ about to throw pitch number 100, and you look that half that total, or more than half that total, in the last 2 1/3. Really had to grind it out. So 2 aboard, 1 out, and he will not make pitch number 100.
He's had guys in scoring position, so that is a grind. You're trying to make good pitches to prevent runs from scoring, and you labor over which pitch you're going to throw, location, sometimes miss your spots if that's behind.
Liner to right. Francoeur makes the grab, and Frenchie gets it in quickly. 2 down. Good jump for Francoeur. Bobby Cox making the move on the lineup card as Kevin Millar will hit for Scott Richmond. And Richmond did a good job. 2 runs on 5 hits.
Millar pinch hit last night against Soriano and struck out with the bases loaded and 1 out. Would think he would be a good guy to have on your ball club for a lot of different reasons, but a veteran presence coming off the bench. Always been a good hitter and certainly a loose guy in the clubhouse.
Ground ball to third. Prado up with it to Kelly, and that's the inning. Jays, though, get the tying run. We're midway in the 6th, knotted at 2.
First inning, long home run to right field. Look at the straight front arm. Good extension down and through in that curveball. Picture perfect. The Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Cedar Gaston pinch hitting for Scott Richmond. And so he makes the move to the pen. Our Sherwin-Williams pitching change. And the left-hander Jesse Carlson. Slender southpaw. There are the numbers on the year. 6'1". They list him at 160.
He's definitely a slinger. He's the guy that Diaz hit the pinch hit double off of. Escobar got him to third, and then this guy Casey Kochman hit a fly ball to left for the only run of the night Friday night.
He wouldn't seem like he'd be a lot of fun to face for a lefty.
No. Hard to pick up. And that 3/4 delivery almost looks like his arm's coming off.
Right side over bay to Carlson.
You're right about Richmond, though, in his outing. Five good innings. Gave up only the 2 runs from the home runs, able to pitch out of that jam in the 4th, and gave his team a chance to win again as their so-called number 5 starter.
Yep. Well, they've had good pitching. Again, second in the AL in earned run average. And that is nothing new. Last year, J.P. Ricciardi, the general manager, put together a pretty good pitching staff. They had the best starter and bullpen ERA in the majors last year. The last time a team led the majors in both starter and bullpen ERA was 1967 in the Chicago White Sox.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, everybody was maligning their lack of offense last year, but when Cito took over, the offense got going too.
Bounced up the middle, redirected by Carlson. And throw to first, not in time. Overbay started to throw the ball around.
Base hit for Garrett. Just out of the reach of Carlson, and he actually slowed it down enough to prevent Scutaro from making the play. He was safe. Bit of a late call there from C.V. Buckner. Took his time. And Overbay decided, well, I'll just throw it around in case.
Try and sell the call.
Yeah.
Sure. So the go-ahead run aboard, McCann at the plate. And Mac is red hot. All the kids are going to be going out getting the Brian McCann glasses.
It's no fun to try and hit when you're constantly squinting and blurry and bleary, so he's feeling a lot better.
He's got his glasses on.
Oh, my. Pretty awesome pitch there. Big, wide, sweeping, crossfire breaking ball.
Brian thought that was away.
So did I.
Carlson steps off.
Chavez was shaking his head no, wanting him to shake his head when he's putting down signs to throw McCann off. Well, Carlson wasn't looking at his head, he was looking at the signs, so he went into his stretch, and Chavez is going, no, get off, step off.
The 0-2. Foul down the left side.
Just what happened to pitch before. You get Chavez shaking his head. No, no, shake your head now, and then.
Yeah, it's one of those subtle things.
Yeah.
If a guy only has a couple of pitches, you start to lock in a little bit. A pitcher will shake no, and then the catcher will put down the same sign and say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try and get in the batter's head a little
Exactly.
bit. Little roller to first. Overbay. There's one. Return to first in time. Tough double play to turn. 3-6-1. End of 6 at Turner Field. 2 apiece. 7th inning here at Turner Field. Check out our National League East standings, and Phillies still lead over the Mets by a half game, over the Braves by a game and a half. And our Arby's changes around the league. Tell you what's changed. Brad Lidge hasn't gone as well this season.
I would say not. An ERA that's approaching 10 now after blowing another game yesterday afternoon against the Yankees. 6 home runs allowed and a .333 average. I know he's had some knee issues that have plagued him all his career and some this spring, but that almost makes you wonder if his arm's bothering him a little bit because he doesn't have the velocity he had before.
Still a pretty good bullpen, though. I mean, it's not as if, you sit there when Brad Lidge comes in and say, oh, great, Brad Lidge is coming in. And he's got Madsen in front of him, who is nasty.
Well, the thing that they cannot afford is to have the end of their bullpen start giving up leads because their starting pitching has not been that good after Cole Hamels. So if they get a lead, they've got to hang on to it.
Yeah, it's a good point. Obviously, the offense outstanding for the Phillies, but that pen needs to pick up the slack because the starters have not been very good. Peter Moylan takes over, 23rd appearance for Peter.
Good move here by Bobby Cox, too. I mean, we don't know what Jair did to himself on that swing, but he had gone over 100 pitches, so whatever it was that bothered him on that swing, a good idea to get some attention to it.
Peter Moylan at times had trouble throwing strikes, 15 1/3 innings, and he's walked 12 and struck out 13. It's not like they're hitting him around, only .204 opponent's batting average. Breaking ball grounded into the hole, and Hernandez will just hang on to it. Scutaro infield single.
You talk about a guy that hung in there on one. Scutaro did just that on a pitch that was thrown right at him. He didn't even flinch. Perhaps looking for the pitch, but watch this. And just dropped the head of the bat on it. It would have been easy for him to kind of bail on that one, and he didn't. You can see McCann was set up outside, so another pitch to your point, Boog, about location.
Aaron Hill 1 for 3. One other thing with Moylan, I don't think any of us would have anticipated that a guy less than a year removed from Tommy John surgery when the season started would at this point in the year lead the team in appearances. No. I know he's not been an appearance guy, but he has now appeared in more games than any other Brave.
Fourth straight inning that the Blue Jays have put their leadoff man on base.
Peter's going to try to get a ground ball with one of those signature sinkers. Just missed there. So 2-1 on Aaron Hill. We talked about his concussion problems. We saw a nasty one last year with Ryan Church. Corey Koski had his career ended by a concussion. He actually tried to make a comeback this year with the Cubs, but wasn't able to do it. And Hill in the offseason spoke to both Koski and Mike Matheny, who had his career ended by a concussion. At the time was with the Giants, but a former Gold Glover. And I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen Mike Matheny. He was a guy that when he played was considered one of the most likely to manage in the major leagues. There goes the runner. The pitch is fouled off at the plate.
Another good jump, too, against the high leg kick of Peter Moylan. Yeah, Matheny's, as you see the jump, part of the problem some of the umpires are encountering too, with the constant blows to the mask.
Moylan gets Hill, tied him up on a pitch inside. There's one away. It's a big out.
That's a good sign, too. That's a place where Peter's been missing. He hasn't been able to make that pitch often enough. He keeps having the ball run too far inside where the hitters don't offer, and it's just a ball. But that was a beauty there.
Yeah, that pitch right there, especially against righties, was the one that was so big for him in 2008. Or I beg your pardon, 2007.
You know who Alex Rios reminds me of? Is Moises Alou. With that kind of, he doesn't have quite as wide a stance, nor the pigeon toe look, but the uncomfortable looking bent leg stance. And very strong like Alou, too.
Well, he and Wells have almost the identical stance.
It's wide. He just doesn't have that front heel turned out. Moises held his hands a little farther away from his body. Another guy with an open stance.
Remember how quiet Moises Alou was? He'd just stand there almost like a statue.
Mm-hmm.
No batting gloves.
Yeah, he was not one of those guys that had a triggering mechanism in his swing. He just took it right from where he held his hands when the pitch was delivered. They went straight from there. Didn't push him back, didn't raise him up, didn't drop him.
And he could hit a fastball.
Yep.
The 0-1 inside, that hit him. Hit him on the heel, I believe.
Wherever it hit him, he's slow going to first.
More the calf.
Got the front leg out of the way, and the back one was exposed.
So 2 on with 1 out. Moylan gives up the single, gets a strikeout, hits a man, and now Vernon Wells has got a couple of hits.
Atlanta had limited them to only 11 hits in the first 2 games. They have 9 hits today, 2 walks, and now a hit batsman. So a lot more base runners today for this offense. It's been very good. Wells has hit the ball on the ground a lot, not today, but in this series he has. You could sure use a sharp grounder here at somebody.
And now 2-0. The sun has snuck through the clouds a couple of different times, but right now a little bit gray. Kind of a muggy afternoon. The 2-0 inside, and now 3-0. Eric O'Flaherty's been warming up, and with Adam Lind on deck, pretty good chance either way this will be Moylan's last hitter.
You mentioned that he's been used in a lot of games, Boog, and if his lack of command continues, his work is going to get cut back because he's got to throw strikes more consistently.
There's one.
I mean, it's not a design, but theoretically he's supposed to be the 7th inning guy. Soriano the 8th and Gonzalez the 9th. Sometimes Soriano and Gonzalez flip-flop that spot. But the 7th is supposed to be Peters, and in a close game you can't walk people. Walked the guy last night, got a double play. Given up a hit and hit a batter here. And has fought back to a 3-2 count. That's a good sign. Keep an eye on the Blue Jay runners because both guys have good speed.
Scutaro at second, Rios at first. A 2-2 game. Braves trying to sweep the Blue Jays with a win here this afternoon. 3-2. He banged that one off his foot.
Maybe that'll slow him down a little bit. Back foot.
It's hard to do.
Looks like right off the toe. He's a tough guy to strike out, too. For a guy with his kind of pop, only 17 strikeouts. Closing in on 200, well over 200 plate appearances. He's still hurting.
Yeah, that's barking. Braves led early, got a couple of first inning homers, one from Kelly Johnson, one from Brian McCann. An RBI ground out by Bautista in the 4th, RBI single by Overbay in the 6th to account for the Blue Jays' runs. Moylan's 3-2. And again, they'll do it over.
Their offense has been so potent that they turn their lineup over quite a bit during the course of the game. Among players in the American League with the most plate appearances, Scutaro, Hill, Rios, and Wells, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Always a good sign.
Yep.
When you're hitting a lot. Three-two. He's just going to keep coming with the sinker, and we'll see if Wells can put it in play. You think Toronto will hang in the East?
They might. I shouldn't hedge there. I think Boston and New York are superior teams. But these guys can score, and Cito Gaston is an outstanding manager if he can somehow draw some more pitching.
Jeez. I don't know where that got him.
I think that got the front foot. I'm glad he's got his Boston hat on just so we would know for sure.
Yep.
I still think the Yankee team is going to get on a good run. They've already had a good winning streak recently.
Way inside, and after all that, he ends up walking it. So Wells made to work for it at 10 pitch at bat. And Lind is not going to face Peter Moylan, but rather it'll be Eric O'Flaherty. So Peter, a single, a hit batter, and a walk. And with one out, the bases will be loaded. Eric O'Flaherty coming in. Coming up, the Braves will hit the road and take on the Giants. And after San Francisco, it'll be off to Arizona and 4 in the airplane hangar at Chase Field. A.J. Hinch's got things turned around for the Diamondbacks. The Giants with good pitching. and they played well at home. Arizona even things up with A.J. Hinch as manager. That's been a real lightning rod of a topic. A.J. Hinch taking over as manager, and it's gotten a lot of critical reaction.
And will continue to as long as they don't really make a move.
Well, here we go. Eric O'Flaherty, bases loaded, lefty on lefty. And a strike on the outside corner.
He needs an outing like he had in his last time out against Colorado. He came in and struck out 3 guys. He also hit a batter, Clint Barmas. He can't afford that with the bases loaded, but he was terrific against Colorado a couple of days ago.
Another strike. He has just devoured the lefties. Oh, 2. Braves got Eric O'Flaherty off waivers from the Mariners November of 2008. Came to camp and battled Boone Logan for the lefty spot in the pen. Logan, who came over in the Javi Vasquez trade, I think he would have thought he had a slight edge coming into that battle, but O'Flaherty won it.
And has not showed any signs of giving it up either.
One, 2, got him. Good breaking pitch. The lefty down on strikes 2 away.
Huge out right there. Stayed with the breaking ball. Good slider to the outside part of the plate and right on top of the dirt. Couldn't reach it. Got him to chase it. Great job. Bobby will go to someone else in the pen now. Looks like Jeff Bennett is ready.
So the lefty does the job. And Jeff Bennett coming in. Still tied at 2 at Turner Field. Dave's not out of it. Bases loaded, and Jeff Bennett will take over. And he has struggled at times allowing the inherited runners to score.
Well, it's not just that, and he's kept his ERA down, but a ton of base runners. First batters are 5 for 16 against him. That's a .313 average. With the bases loaded, they're 2 for 6 with 2 bases loaded walks. But I talked to him yesterday, day before, about his work lately, and he said that he had some mechanical flaws that he and Roger have worked on that he thinks he's gotten straightened out. His last outing against Colorado, 2 innings, zeros across with 3 strikeouts. Let's hope that continues today.
Pumps in a strike to Bautista. Jose Bautista getting the start today. Scott rolling the afternoon off. Jays and Braves tied at 2. We're in the 7th. Memorial Day weekend, first weekend of interleague play. Into today the AL with a 15-13 advantage. Last year it was 149 to 103 in favor of the AL.
Ugly.
High in the air, playable for Francoeur. And Bennett and O'Flaherty do good work. The Jays leave them loaded. We're midway in the 7th on this Memorial Day weekend. Kelly Johnson led off the bottom of the first at opposite field homer. McCann later in the first, a solo homer. Braves led 2-0. Then Vernon Wells, a couple of stolen bases, came in to score on Jose Bautista's RBI ground ball in the 4th. Wells a double in the 6th and came in to score on Lyle Overbay's RBI single to tie things up at 2-2. And that is where we are right now. The Braves trying to come up with a win and sweep the Toronto Blue Jays. The Jays, who had gotten up to such a fast start, have now hit the skids and they've lost 5 in a row. Braves were in the red tops on this Sunday afternoon, and a little take me out to the ball game. And a great weekend for baseball. Time now for a money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Caulk and weather strip around windows and doors to save money and energy. Money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power.
And as Mr. Home Fix-It Dave Baker told us, foam weather stripping is your best bet.
Keep that in mind. Braves will have Prado, Francoeur, and Yori Hernandez here in inning number 7, and Sean Camp will take over.
I'm glad Carlson's out of there. He's funky, that left-handed delivery. He's tough. This guy, Camp, has allowed 7 earned runs over his last 6 outings. That's just covering 9 innings. So maybe he's ready to get touched up a little bit again this afternoon.
Prado with a double down the left field line his last time up. And the Braves had second and third with 1 out, but Francoeur grounded out on the first pitch, and Yori Hernandez grounded to second to end the inning. Martin shortens the bunt. Answer to the question, who leads the Braves in slugging percentage? It's the guy at the plate. And we've commented before, Joe, how he's got some deceptive power.
And he's pulling the ball more. He's stronger. He's not just an inside-out singles hitter. And pulled one right over the bag for a double his last time up down the third base line. Boy, that is a sweeping breaking pitch, isn't it? It's a slider, but it's real flat and it breaks a lot. I'm going to call it a slider because it might be a curveball because of the amount of breaks in it.
Fastball to the hole as Bautista cuts it off and slings it over to first, one away. Folks, saving money this summer doesn't mean you have to stay at home. The Braves have some great ticket deals. And this one we love, the Chevron Family Value Plan. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, parking, a program, and a $5 gas card. It's only $59. To order, visit Braves.com/tickets. There's that sweeping pitch missing outside to Frank Gore, and Jeff hitless today, but still 4 out of 9 in the series and still using Greg Norton's bats.
Well, I wish he would have used a little more patience his last time up. Runners at second and third and 1 out when he went after that first pitch slider from Richmond and grounded to third. Last night he had an awesome at bat.
Liner to left, coming out as the left fielder Lind, and he'll collect it on a bounce.
And it wasn't a whole lot unlike that swing, in that it appeared that Jeff was thinking about hitting the ball up the middle, and they hung a curveball and he was able to yank it. Here was the same thing. He stayed back beautifully on this pitch, and because they made a mistake with it out over the plate, he's able to get good wood on it. Good at bat there.
Greg Norton's got to be sitting there saying, it's my bat.
Yeah.
It's the hits and the bats.
Just walk up and down the dugout. You know that was mine.
Yory Hernandez with 1 out, and Frank Gore back in.
Bottom part of the order, but you know that if the pitcher spot comes up, Bobby Cox will pinch hit. So Yory Hernandez, a guy who has a reputation for being able to handle the bat. You never know, maybe a hit and run.
Strike to Hernandez.
No word on really when Yunel Escobar will be able to play. The way he was feeling today before the ball game, you wondered if even tomorrow, after a long flight to the West Coast, if he'd be available. If we see him jogging up and down the aisle of the airplane, maybe that will tell us. With Jeff Porter close behind.
He's going to get some light running.
Carrying trays.
Towards the hole, base hit left field. First big league hit of Yory Hernandez's career, and the Braves with runners at first and second to go ahead run in scoring position. And they'll get that baseball.
Got to go in the trophy case. Gino Cadahia bragging to Brian Snitker there on his wonderful bowling exploits, rolling that ball all the way into the opening. But a big hit here for him. Another high hanging breaking ball, and he pulled it in the hole. After holding off the Blue Jays in the top of the inning with the bases loaded, Atlanta's offense comes to life and have a chance to take the lead here.
So congratulations to Yory Hernandez. 1 out, 2 aboard, a 2-2 game. Schaefer at the plate.
Here's where he needs to put the ball in place. Tough to double up. But among hitters in the National League who swing and miss the most, Jordan Schaefer is third behind Mark Reynolds and Justin Upton. That was coming into play today. A third of the time when he swings, he fails to make contact. He needs contact here.
All right, now can I make the argument the other way that this is one of the times where worst case I take the strikeout because I want to make sure he gets to the plate?
Well, I didn't see him in the on-deck circle, but I still think that Jordan's tough to double up. Even if he hits a sharp ground ball, you might wind up with first and third and Chipper up there.
Good point. Two and one now.
Good patience. Camp has not been able to put his breaking pitch where he wants. He leaves one out, up and out over the plate to Jordan. It might find a gap somewhere.
Frank Coors at second, Hernandez at first. Three and one. Brad Arnsberg going to go out and talk with the righty. First mound visit of the day for the pitcher coach.
I think he might be the first one of the series, Boog. Just trying to think back. I know he didn't to Halladay. Maybe last night to Jansen, but I can't quite remember. But a good pitch count here for Jordan. It's a situation where you focus on a spot you want to see the ball in, get ready to hit the ball if it's in that spot, and if it's not there, you take it. Worst case scenario, guy burns the outside corner and it's 3-2, and you live to see another pitch.
Ball four, and they're loaded.
Blue Jays wanted that pitch.
Well, for all you want to say about Jordan Schaefer, most of his swings and misses, he's swinging through stuff, not chasing stuff. He's walked a ton, and Chipper is not going to get a chance to face Camp because Cito Gaston is going to make the call to the bullpen. 2-2 game. We're in the seventh. New pitcher coming in.
average against him last year.
Chipper gets the crowd buzzing. So here we go with the sacks full. Francoeur, Hernandez, and Schaefer, third to first.
3 for 4 getting that runner in from third with less than 2 outs on the year. First at bat of the series.
And ball 1.
Chipper's problem is running, not hitting, not throwing. So if he hits the ball on the ground and their infield is back, he might be an easy double play target because he can't get down the line.
Hit hard off the glove of Overbay into right field. Francoeur in to score, and that's all they'll get. RBI single.
Chipper hadn't even gotten to first base, and he was already looking in the dugout, shaking his hands like, I don't need a pinch runner, I'm okay. And that's before he even got to the bag. He didn't want to have Bobby have to waste another player to take his place there. That was a rocket that Overbay just got waffled on. Right here, look. No, I'm okay. I'm all right. Let's see if I got the first. I'm all right. No. There's the shot off the glove. And a chance to get more. What a break that he didn't catch that ball.
That was hit hard. 3-2 Braves. Kelly Johnson. Strike 1. Kelly's had a good afternoon. Hit the ball hard 3 times. Were we really just waiting on an official scorer's ruling? Are you with me on that one?
Yeah, it was a little tardy.
I just assumed hit.
Overbay's checking his glove to make sure it didn't put a hole in it.
When we see Yunel do that to Mark Teixeira, I think spring training last year or the year before. It had to be last year.
Yeah. A backup pitch there is his off-speed pitch, almost like a screwball.
Razor ahead, 0-2. Hit well, right center field. Wells on the move. That one is going to hop over the wall. Automatic double. And probably cost the Braves a run, although Chipper running, not sure. But it's now 5-2, and Kelly having a monster afternoon.
That was an 0-2 count also, wasn't it? And he got a good pitch to hit and didn't miss it. So a mistake here. Oh, he wanted it up. You could see Chavez almost standing up. He wanted a high fastball there, but he didn't get it high enough. Great extension. Kelly went up to that pitch and all but hit it out of the ballpark. And did get it out on one hop.
Just sitting on that back leg and generating all that torque. And now an intentional pass, so the base is loaded.
Again, left-handed hitters only 1 for 22 coming into this appearance, and they're 2 for 2 today.
So they'll walk Kochman here to set up the double play. And Garrett Anderson's going to hit with the bases loaded.
Take a look at this swing again, and look at Chavez and how he is standing up practically right here. See how he gets up high? He wanted to see if Kelly would chase something up. Well, he did, but the pitch wasn't up high enough. What a day for Kelly Johnson. 3 hits, a single, a double, and a home run. And a line shot out for the only out he's made.
Braves a chance to blow this thing open. Garrett Anderson. They're loaded up in the 7th.
Well, the job that O'Flaherty did and Bennett did in the top of the inning, leaving the bases loaded, inspired the team, and it's got started with 1 out and a good at bat by Jeff Francoeur.
Center field, Wells back. Makes the grab. Chipper will tag and score. And it's 6-2. Kelly Johnson moves up to 3rd. Garrett Anderson and RBI's 9th.
Chat that were eavesdropping on there with Chipper and Bobby. Chipper obviously wanted to stay in the game and let him know right away.
Halfway to first. I'm good. We're good.
Yeah.
No pinch runner.
Yeah.
Hey, let's let the play finish for a second.
Bobby wasn't even watching him. He was wanting to see who's going to score.
Ball 1 to Brian McCann.
It's funny how a line shot single to put the team ahead makes your foot feel better, though, as you're going down the line. Get some more.
Braves gunning for a sweep of the Blue Jays.
It'll be their 3rd 3-game sweep of the year if they hang on. Yeah.
Swept the Nationals earlier this year.
And would be the first ever against the Blue Jays. Toronto has the best record against Atlanta of any interleague team coming into this series. They'd won 14 out of 21 in interleague history against the Braves, and 12 of their last 15 overall against the Braves, and had won 4 straight at Turner Field. So this is quite a turnaround in terms of results in this series.
It's a 10-game homestand. It got turned into a 9-game homestand because of the rain out a week ago against the Diamondbacks. But if the Braves can hold on for a win, you'd have taken 6-3 in an absolute heartbeat. I just don't think you would have expected 3-3 against the Diamondbacks and the Rockies and 3-0 against the Blue Jays.
You would not have balanced it that way.
One and 2 to McCann.
Yankees batting in the bottom of the 9th, trailing the Phillies by a run. Maybe they can get to Lidge again today.
And the Red Sox leading the Mets 6-5 in the 6th.
That's been a good series. What a home run last night off Papelbon. What's that kid's name?
Omir Santos.
Omir Santos.
Yeah. Somebody on our Fox Sports South Facebook page was saying today that they screwed up a call in the Boston game, that Kevin Youkilis hit a fair home run that they called foul. I don't know whether they reviewed it or not.
That's too bad.
Yeah. McCann gets into this one. Way back, heading for the bullpen. See ya! Brian McCann unloads. Have a day, Mac. His second homer of the afternoon. And it's all Braves here in the seventh. And Atlanta now leads it 9-2.
And I said, get some more. I didn't know that he'd hit one in the bullpen. That gives him 17 RBIs and a no-doubter. Kelly Johnson hit one over the seating area in the bullpen last night. McCann does it today. Like it might have been Alan Butts out there made the catch. Nice play. Take a look at the catch. Boy, that just had to sound, didn't it?
Yep.
Butts always wanted to be an outfielder.
That is the 5th time that Brian McCann has hit more than one home run in a game. We like to call them multi-homer games. And indeed, vote Brian McCann National League All-Star. We talked about this the other day. I think it was off the air. Because you and I have had a handful of conversations the last couple of years. I'm not sure which it was on the air, off the air, but
none this week.
Good point. Kind of been away. I'm sorry. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, Brian McCann's got a chance to make the All-Star team for the 4th straight season, his 4th full season in the majors.
Not too many guys do that.
I mean, you're looking at arguably the best catcher in the majors right there. Chipper does some damage off the glove of Overbay, the big hit. Kelly gets into one, and then the exclamation point. The Braves backstop Brian McCann. Goodbye. 9-2. (9-2), the Braves lead this one. Brian McCann, what an afternoon. He's knocked in 4, couple of home runs. Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. Look at the last 16.
They've gone 11-5, and that ties for the best record in the National League over 16 games. And that does not take into account today's 9-run effort, that they're at 4.8 per game. So keep it going, boys, as they head out on the road.
First pitch swinging. Kelly Johnson will pick that one up. Soriano will take it.
This is not a typical Soriano spot to be in a game where the Braves are up by 7, but as soon as Chipper got that knock and they took the lead, he was warming up. So he was loose, bring him in. Don't waste him. Pretty good work. 9 games, 18 strikeouts and 2 walks, no runs.
Chavez fouls that one back. I was talking earlier about the Fox Sports South Facebook page that we have, and just as the game goes on, I sit there and I look at some of the comments and read, and it's hysterical because people ask questions, but other people on the page answer all the questions. So when somebody asks the question, well, why does Brian McCann wear the glasses to hit but not to catch? Prado there on the backhand. 2 away. And somebody says because they fog up when he's catching and he needs them to hit. I don't need to do anything.
Well, they're well-informed people.
There you go.
They're Braves fans. They know what's going on. They listen to the games, follow what's going on.
Good work by Soriano. He's gotten 2 outs on 4 pitches.
By the way, real quick, they have a huge jackpot thing on our radio partners next door on Braves Radio, and if the Braves score 7 runs in the 7th inning, somebody wins the jackpot. It was up to $11,000 and some change, and a fan from Americus just won $11,000 thanks to that 7 run 7th inning.
That is awesome.
I'll buy a couple of tanks of gas.
2-0 to the pinch hitter Joe English. All right, can I show my ignorance? Give me distance, direction, Americus.
South and a little off south central, right? To the west.
Okay. Two one down.
Jimmy Carter country.
Okay. Soriano's 3-1 right there. So you look at big spots in the game, hard to argue against O'Flaherty and Bennett with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th in a 2-2 game.
Awesome job.
Got him. Soriano gets him 1-2-3. Great work. So the Braves get 7 in the bottom of the 7th, and Soriano mows him down to the top of the 8th. by Texaco. On Fox Sports South is brought to you in part by Texaco, by Arby's, by AirTran Airways, by Verizon Wireless, by Blimpie, and by Geico. Back at Turner Field, the Braves going for the sweep into the bottom of the eighth, leading 9-2. Francoeur, Hernandez, and Schaefer in what has turned out to be a nice Sunday afternoon. And John McDonald, outstanding defensive shortstop. Providence College product, takes over at short for Marco Scutero. All right, here more than anything is why I love Facebook. A guy just posted on the wall, Joe, I passed you on the way to the game yesterday on 75. Nice car, even nicer pink shirt. You were on the phone, but I tomahawk chopped as I drove by.
Saw the guy.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. He was in the back seat. Saw him. I just thought it was kind of funny. Somebody's driving down in the HOV lane doing the tomahawk chop. So I wondered what was going on there. Now I know.
All right. So Maddie saw you.
Yeah.
That's good comedy right there. Francoeur down on strikes, chasing that one as Brandon Lee gets him. And one away here in the last of the eighth.
Here's another guy that's a bit of a slinger. A 1-1 record, a 4.12 ERA. He's got a lot of nicknames. Lives in Honolulu. His initial is, of course, B League, so that would be Big League. Some people might say Ivy League, but he's from Honolulu. What's the name of that winter league out there?
The Hawaiian
League? Somehow I had the Hula Bowl in my head.
They get very creative with the name of that league in Hawaii. Diori Hernandez, second hit of the afternoon, so his first two major league hits coming here today.
He'll look sharp on the charter in his new shirt and his outfit that he's helped with by JJ and Escobar. Proud day when you get your first major league hit. It's even greater when you've had something to do with the outcome, when you've been a starter in the game. And nice rally.
By the way, Brad Lidge blew another save. They go to the 10th, tied at 3 at Yankee Stadium. The Phillies and the Yankees.
That's a shame.
And the Red Sox lead the Mets 7-5. And again, just depending on the people on Facebook, which as a reporting source maybe I shouldn't do, but they said that home run was reviewed, but reviewed incorrectly, that it was fair home run. They went inside, they looked at it, reviewed it. Every angle showed it to be fair, and they still called it a foul ball.
Wow.
On Kevin Youkilis. That ball's hit pretty well center field. Wells back some more, and it's off the wall. Schaefer to second. It's a double. Hernandez will stop at third. Well, that's good to see from Jordan Schaefer.
He had a walk, his last time up that set up Chipper with the bases loaded and went after this pitch down and in. If you're going to come in on Jordan Schaefer, you better get it about belt tie and try and tie him up because he's got too quick a bat when it's down low like that. Good play by Wells, kept it from being an RBI.
Braves after this off to San Francisco. Here's Greg Norton.
Using Francoeur's bat.
Stole it from me.
Sorry. Sorry.
And if he doesn't get a hit here, you know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
You took all the hits from my bats.
Got none left.
Right side, that'll get the run home. 10-2.
Couple RBIs from the pinch hitters in the 9 spot tonight. Chipper and now Norton. Everybody chipping in today. That's great. How about a triple? Homer in the first, single in the 5th, double in the 7th. Mark Kotsay hit for the cycle last year.
I might be wrong. I think that Kotsay's cycle is the first time I've ever broadcast a game where somebody's hit for the cycle.
I think it might have been for me too. Manny Acosta just called up yesterday. Looks like he'll work the 9th.
Took over for James Parr on the roster. Up the middle, McDonald, what a play. Gets up, throws him out.
Wow.
He is phenomenal out there at short and steals a hit from Kelly Johnson. 10-2, we're going to the 9th.
Pot. And what a day for Brian McCann. A 3-for-4 day. 2 homers, 4 RBIs. This is the curveball that he launched into the seats in the first inning for his 4th homer of the year. And then capping the scoring in the 7th, a 3-run shot into the bullpen, despite the fact that it was caught by Alan Butts. His 5th homer of the year and a 3-run shot. What a day for him. And don't forget, on June 7th, that's a Sunday, the first 15,000 fans will get a full-size Brian McCann replica bat presented by the Home Depot. For the best price on single-game tickets, visit Braves.com/tickets or call 1-800-745-3000.
I know Victor Martinez of the Indians having a great year in terms of offensive catchers, although he plays some first base and does some DHing over there. So
Victor Martinez is always a high average guy too. I don't know what his career average is, but it seems like he's always flirting with hitting 300, if not over.
2-0 to McDonald.
Acosta was in 15 games at Gwinnett. He was 1-3, but had a very good ERA, 2.86. 46 games with the big club last year in the ERA. A little over 3.5.
By the way, good call, Victor Martinez, career .303 hitter. And this year hitting .371.
Just .371.
Only. Jurgen started, went 6, allowing a couple of runs on 8 hits. To the hole, Yory Hernandez throws high, and that one bounces off the screen that guards the Braves dugout. An error on the shortstop. No Yunel Escobar out to the bad hip flexor.
Might have rushed his throw a little bit, although he did set his feet. He just didn't get on top of it. And he has an error to go with his first 2 big league hits.
Got some excited people still here in the yard.
For Manny Acosta, if there's been a knock or question, it's been on his command. 26 walks in 53 innings last year. 14 walks in 23 innings the year before. No doubt about his arm. He can let it go. But what may have cost him a spot on this year's opening day roster was command. Back up.
Over the leaping Prado into left field. So the first 2 have reached here in the 9th. Let's go down to Fred Hickman to see what's coming up on Dodge Braves Live.
Boog and Joe, thank you very much. We got plenty of good things to talk about. It looks as though the Braves on their way to their first 3-game series sweep of the season. Brian McCann going deep twice. Good job out of the bullpen, so plenty to get to. We're going to hear from McCann. We'll hear from Bobby Cox. Jerome Jurinovich will be around. Brian Jordan joins me as well. And thanks for waving at me as I tomahawk chopped you on the highway yesterday. Appreciate it.
Yep. You're going to have to slow down, though, Fred.
Acosta missing outside to Alex Rios. 2 on, nobody out. Braves up 10-2. And Manny having trouble locating now. Rios 1 for 3. Braves had really held down Rios and Wells coming into this game. Through the first 2 games, they were 0 for 16. But today, Rios with a hit and Wells with 2 hits and a walk.
Don't want to make the 9th inning eventful. Don't want to have anybody else come in and work. So we'll fire some strikes, make them put it in play, and hopefully hit it right at somebody.
Third base, Prado gets 1, gets 2.
That was a very difficult play. Not to just catch it and run to the bag. Okay, that was fairly easy, but to have to throw off the wrong foot once he got to third base here. Didn't have anything on the throw, but got it over there on the fly. I'm just glad he didn't run on in, because he looked like he was about to head to the dugout and had to really throw on the brakes to keep that guy from going from second to third. Nice play by Prado.
So 2 down and a strike to Vernon Wells. Costa trying to close it out, finish off a sweep.
Been a good crowd today.
Absolutely.
Almost 24,000 here, and they've been into it today.
So here we go, 1-2. Manny, I'll tell you what, you could see that. I mean, he fell off to the side. That one was at 97. He was a little pumped up.
And he took a little peek up there at the scoreboard, too, after he got the ball back from McCann. He wanted to know himself.
So here we go again. And he pulled that one down and away.
And he took another peek up there.
Well, this win would conclude not a good, a great homestand.
And, of course, it's got to rain before the game's over.
Got him. Ball game, 10-2 your final. Braves sweep the Blue Jays and go 6-3 on the homestand. Chipper off the bench with a big hit.